Hello and welcome. Thank you so much for joining me today. Today's topic, how to rehearse and practice for a stage or parlor show. How to rehearse and practice for a stage or parlor show. This was written by a gentleman by the name of Matt from Savannah, Georgia. I'm going to read a portion of what he wrote, not the whole thing, but a portion. I have a quick request for a video. I'm transitioning from close-up magic to parlor performances and plan to start with open mic nights to practice and refine my act. Since these spots are limited to around 5 minutes, I'm focusing on one effect at a time. Could you share some tips on how you rehearse and practice for a stage or parlor act? I'd love to hear your insights on preparing for these types of performances. Thanks again for all the great content. I look forward to hearing from you. Thank you, Matt. Well, you know, I consider myself a parlor expert. I'm not as strong in close-up. I'm not as strong on full stage. But parlor is where I'm at home. It's where I'm at ease. It's my preference. If you said, David, I have 3 gigs. I want you to be part of a full-scale illusion show, full stage. I want you to do restaurant magic and hop from table to table, or I want you to perform in a parlor. On the same floor, on the same level with the audience, be about 50 to 100 people. You know, that's my bread and butter. That's what I do. So let me share this with you. The first thing he says here, he says, these spots are limited to around 5 minutes. Let me share this with you. If you're doing those types of spots and you're told you have 5 minutes, you have 5 minutes. You don't have 4 minutes and 45 seconds. You don't have 5 minutes and 15 seconds. You have 5 minutes. So you need to get on and off on time. And one of the best training grounds for this, and a lot of you guys are going to, you know, but I'm telling you, one of the best training grounds to do this is Toastmasters. I was a Toastmaster for a number of years. And in Toastmasters, you have a very specific time. Somebody sits in the back of the room, and they have a light switch. And the green light comes on, and you go. And the yellow light comes on, and you have 2 minutes or a minute or 30 seconds or whatever the time period is agreed that when the yellow light comes on, you need to wrap it. And then the red light comes on indicating that you've hit your time. And they train you to speak to time. And it's extremely important that you do this. Now, if you're not a Toastmaster, if you're not inclined to be a Toastmaster, then what you need to do is get yourself. I use a stopwatch, and if I want to do a 60-minute show, and most of my shows are 45 to 60 minutes. So I want to do a 60-minute show. I put 60 minutes on the stopwatch. I put the stopwatch down on my table. I start. I go. And I'm watching. Now in live performance, I have a digital clock. It's about this big. The numbers are huge, because you know I don't want to not see it. The audience doesn't see this. It sits on my table, backside to them, number side to me, big red bold numbers. I watch because I love audience interaction. I love improvisation. So naturally, my time is going to vary. I pack, when I go to a show, I've got probably an hour and a half worth of material. If I just did all the material, I'd probably go for 90 minutes. But, you know, I'm editing because I'm looking. Let's say that 15 minutes has gone by and I'm well down in my program, which is really unusual. But if that happens, and I know I've got much more material, I can just keep going. 15 minutes goes by and I've only done one effect, right? And I'm thinking, well, whoa. So now I have to, as I look, I have a cue sheet that's right next to the clock, and it's got times and bullet points on it. And so I look down at the cue sheet. And I think, okay, I'm going to eliminate this, eliminate this, eliminate this, and so I'm editing my show as I go. But if the show's at 1 o'clock, I start at 1 o'clock. I stop at 2 o'clock. You know. And the audience is not aware that editing took place. But that's me. That's how I do business, because I really love the unexpected, and I love creating an environment where that happens. So that's just me. Now let's talk about practice. First of all, there's a difference between practice and rehearsal. I've talked about this before. You can pick up any book you want, and they'll tell you practice is what you do to learn a skill. Rehearsal is start to finish, the whole thing without a break. Two distinct forms of learning material. Practice, material in development or material you need to keep polished. I'll tell you what I do. I have a number of tables around my workspace. Those tables are filled with props of material either that I'm learning or that I want to keep sharp. For example, I struggle with some card counts, like the Elmsley or Hammond or counts like this. So I keep some cards, and I just do these counts all the time. And then my cups and balls. I do my cups and balls probably daily. My linking rings daily. Now, the funny thing is, I rarely perform the linking rings. But when I need it, I want it to be there and I want it to be sharp. So I practice daily. I practice the cups and balls daily. I practice card slides daily. Every single day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. That's the way it is. Now, in practice, you set goals. You define specific, clear targets for what you want to improve or accomplish. You practice consistently. Show up every day. Practice at the same time. Be deliberate. Practice with the goal of improving. By the way, I'm going to put these notes down below so you can reference them. Be deliberate. Practice with the goal of improving your performance, not just for your enjoyment. It's easy to fall into the trap of having fun, but you're not moving that performance forward. Start small. Begin with a small amount of time and gradually increase. I keep props on my table. As I said, I practice every single day. Now, rehearsal is a whole different story. Rehearsal. Let me give you some tips on rehearsal. Rehearsal is start to finish, no breaks. You're not going to, I dropped a card. I'm going to start over. Unless you would do that in live performance, don't you dare do that in rehearsal. In rehearsal, you visualize your audience in front of you, and you're playing to them. You're playing to them just as if they're really there. And so that's the way it is. Visualize the venue, visualize the audience, and visualize the audience response and interaction. Feel free to ad-lib as you encounter opportunity to do so during rehearsal. You're going to hear in your mind, you're going to hear audience members say certain things. React to it. Go with it. Record your rehearsals if you can. Simulate the performance environment as much as possible. Dress the way you will dress when you perform. And time your presentation so that you get it to the second. Okay? So, Matt, I hope I answered your question. It's a big topic area. Almost every performing magician has addressed it in their materials. So you have a lot of materials to go to and refer to. Thank you so much for asking. Thanks for joining me, everyone. Please comment down below. Please subscribe if you've not done so already. Have a great day. Bye-bye. See you next time.